Motorsports coverage presents Speed World. Today live from Bristol International Raceway, it's the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Budweiser 250. It is an overcast day, unseasonably cold here in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and yes, an 80% chance of rain. In fact, showers currently over the speedway. It has been raining off and on all morning. Hello everyone, I'm Jerry Punch and welcome to Bristol International Raceway. We're hoping to have 250 laps of short track racing action to come your way, NASCAR Grand National style. But right now we are getting a few sprinkles, and yes, they are trying to dry the track. Joining me as always, two-time NASCAR champion Ned Jarrett. And Ned, a tremendous race up here on the short tracks. I love coming to Bristol, and the competitors love coming here.
Well, they do. It's a fun track to watch a race on, but I'll tell you, it's a very demanding racetrack. And, you know, we talk about the Busch Grand National drivers as opposed to the Winston Cup drivers. Well, this might be one track that the lack of experience might help the Busch Grand National drivers, because you go so fast. You have to be so aggressive on this racetrack, drive the cars deep into the turns, and maybe they haven't learned how hard those walls are yet. You know, there are 7 Winston Cup drivers in this field today, but most of them are starting way back in the field.
You talk about how critical the experience is here at Bristol, but there may be one more factor that'll play a key into who wins today, and that is tires. With more, let's go down to John Kernan.
Jerry, right now the rain has let up here on pit road. You mentioned tires. Yes, somewhat of a role reversal today. Goodyear on the bias ply, the Hoosier Tire Company brought out a radial. And ironically, it was a few years ago that Goodyear's development of the radial tire basically ran Hoosier back to the Midwest. Now there are 4 teams running the Hoosier Tire, and 4 of them are in the top 9, including our pole sitter here, Butch Miller, is a little bit antsy, ready to get this race underway. What's it do to you guys down here to sit and wait and wait?
Oh, not much. You know, if the race would have started, you know, and we got a couple laps in it and then we had to wait, I don't think I'd like that, you know. But right now it's no different. And with the race starting at noon, you know, I'm not ready to start for another hour anyhow.
What about these radial tires? They seem to be the ticket here.
So far, so good. You know, knock on some wood. But, you know, they've been terrific in practice. Of course, qualifying, they were excellent. And we haven't shown a lot of temperature so far, but I'm going to take it a little bit easy on them until we can get them off and take a good look at them. You know, I think everybody's going to have to do that with the new surface, but you know, we'll see.
You know, aside from just having to wait, the rain maybe washes off some of the rubber. Is the strategy taking it very, very easy the first few laps once the race gets started?
Yeah, maybe for Butch Miller, but for the guy starting behind me, Jimmy Spencer, I doubt it. That guy's going to go charging for the apron on the first lap, I believe.
That's Butch Miller with a new pole qualifying record, almost 2 miles an hour faster. And yesterday we were talking, he said this place is now kind of like a video game where the cars pop up at you with no warning. And Benny, Butch tells me that you probably need the reflexes of a 12-year-old kid if you're going to win the race today.
Well, I don't have a 12-year-old kid, John, but I do have a 20-year-old kid, Jeff Gordon, who's starting outside pole position on the Goodyear bias ply. I talked to the Goodyear engineers and said, why didn't you bring a radial? Because they have radial tires everywhere. They said, we've never run a radial at this racetrack on the new surface. We didn't want to take a chance. We wanted to come with something we felt like we knew would work rather than take a chance on the radial tire. And Jeff Gordon, Butch Miller says that you need to know how to play video games to be able to get around this racetrack. It's so fast. Is that a apt statement?
I tell you, that's a pretty good statement, because this place is really fast corner speeds, and it's not a matter of how long you're off the gas, it's how long you're on the gas, because you're not off of it very, very much. And I tell you, the Goodyear tires are holding up really good for us. You know, we missed the pole by 100th of a second, so that's just a blink of the eye, and I feel that we're going to be really competitive today.
You're only 20 years old, but you've run races like this before. Salem, Indiana, Winchester, tracks similar to this. You like this? High banks, half miles?
Well, I love to go fast, and I love the high banks. Winchester, Indiana, and Salem, they taught me a lot as far as the high banks go, but this is Bristol, and we're in stock cars, not sprint cars any longer, and I just really enjoy this track. We have a good setup here. We got a good combination today, so I feel really good as long as this sun stays out right now.
This is stock car country. Is that why you're wearing the sunglasses? Because it's... Why the shades? Are you trying to copy Richard Petty?
No, I hope it brings good luck. My goggles have kept, ever since I had them on, the sun's been out, so hopefully it'll stay that way.
We'll keep them on, because we want to see some sunshine so we can go racing, Jerry.
Yes, we do, Benny Parsons. We'd like to see some sun come out, and it's beginning to peek through, Ned Jarrett. The clouds are separating somewhat, and they have begun to uncover some of the cars. That's last week's winner, Robert Presley, and he will be starting his car in the field today, the Oldsmobile, and what a week he has had after that tremendous last lap run last week. But, Ned, they're anxious to race, so are we, and the sun starting to peek through.
Yeah, there are beginning to be some dry spots on the racetrack as well, Jerry, so this thing could get underway here before too long.
Well, we'll be back with more from Bristol International Raceway from Thunder Valley, Tennessee. Busch Grand National Racing coming your way after this. Stay with us.
Homeowners, tired of raking, piling, and hauling yard debris with no way to dispose of it? Here's great news. It's the revolutionary Gardenway Chipper Vac, a completely new 4-in-1 yard cleanup machine. It's a walk-behind blower, a handy chipper, an extended hose vacuum, and a powerful yard vacuum, all in one affordable cleanup machine. Use the blower year-round to clear walks and drives, while this handy chipper takes branches up to 1.5 inches thick. The extended hose vacuum is perfect for hard-to-reach spots, and the powerful yard vacuum shreds leaves and twigs easily. Plus, all your yard wastes are reduced and bagged for easy disposal, or use as free landscape mulch and compost. So stop struggling with yard waste cleanup. Call for free details on the new Gardenway Chipper Vac today. For complete details on the revolutionary new Gardenway Chipper Vac, including your free full-color Chipper Vac catalog, call toll-free 1-800-543-5800. That's 1-800-543-5800. Call today.
Major League Baseball is in your face on ESPN with America's Game of the Week, Sunday Night Baseball, plus single games on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, and a Friday night doubleheader. Got it! Opening day is Monday as the Blue Jays meet the Tigers, the Giants battle the Dodgers, and the Mets take on the Cardinals. An opening day tripleheader, Monday at 1 Eastern, live on ESPN.
We welcome you back to Bristol International Raceway in Bristol, Tennessee. Stop number 7 on the $5 million 31-race Busch Grand National Tour for 1992. Today's Speedwall coverage of the Budweiser 250 being brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. By Quaker State, the Big Q is one tough motor oil. And by Suzuki. Your Suzuki dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. Let's go down the pit road to Benny Parsons.
Well, Jerry, I found a couple of guys sitting in the driver's lounge waiting on the rain to stop. Harry Gant, Dale Jarrett, and Harry, we just saw you getting beat again at Darlington last week.
Yeah, we've been reviewing the tapes in here to see if we can learn anything from it.
What'd you learn?
We learned that we got beat real bad.
Did you think he was going to slide up when he went in the third corner? You'd be able to duck under him?
No, I wasn't ever intention on ducking under him. I was just going to stay on the outside. Cause my car's pushing pretty hard, and I'd have probably pushed into him. And then he had a good run. He had me pretty much beat, so I just stayed on the outside.
What about here? Do you like the new surface they've put on this new racetrack?
Well, it's smooth, Benny, but it seemed like it turned got narrow for some reason. I think they moved the apron up some. It's going to be awful hard to pass out there.
Dale, how about you? You like the new surface?
Well, I agree with Harry. It's very smooth, and if it just stays there, that's going to be a question, too. I agree with Harry. It's going to be difficult to pass. We need 2 grooves here like we used to have before they started putting the sealer. If we can get that, it'll be great. I just hope that the surface stays down and we can have a good race.
How's this year been with the new Interstate Battery team, highly visible team with Joe Gibbs as the team owner? Has it been what you wanted?
Well, of course, we'd like to have better finishes, certainly, but the cars run good, and I think we're making the progress that we need to be making. I think a lot of other people had a lot higher expectations of what we should be doing at this point in the season than really what we had. But like I say, the cars have run well. We've run in the top 10 and in the top 5 a good portion. We've had some mechanical failures that we really didn't want to see, but you have to expect some things to happen when you're a new team. So if we can keep those from happening again and continue to run well, we've got a good starting spot here for tomorrow. So I look forward to that. I like this racetrack, and maybe this will be a kind of a turning point as far as what other people go and what they expect from us.
Well, Harry, this year in the Winston Cup division, the Oldsmobile, your skull-banded Oldsmobile, been running super. Just too much Bill Elliott?
Well, we're running as good as we did last year. Benny, we finished the season off and continued on to the tracks this year with the same cars and basically same thing we was doing. We didn't want to really try anything different, and we just trying to, run good and finish the races and avoid any mechanical failures and wrecks or anything like that. And we've been pretty lucky so far. We've been thrilled, really, that we've been running as good after in and off the season last year.
Well, John Kerner, our other pit reporter, Harry, is standing by with Robert Presley. Is there anything you'd like to say to Robert before the race starts today?
No, he ought to win. He's got the fastest car on the track. He ought to win it.
Robert, Harry just said you got the fastest car on the track. You ought to win today. What do you say to that?
Yeah, but what's Harry say every week? That old car of his ain't running, We're just struggling. He's got something every week. He comes up and he says, Robert, you got the fastest car. Yesterday I said, Harry, why don't you get in this thing and just see how fast it is?
Beating Harry Gant last week, you told Benny in Victory Lane that you had watched it on videotape. What particular race stuck out in your mind, and did it all of a sudden just pop in your mind that, hey, I could be in the same situation?
Yeah, it's old tape. I guess it's back in the Mountain Dew days, 81, 82 with Darrell Waltrip and Richard Petty. I've watched that tape there, just whenever the track was really wore out, I guess is when this tape here was. And that was what flashed back in my mind about halfway up back straightaway. I was beside Harry and I seen that and I said, oh God, here comes that Mountain Dew car. But in that case, it was that Mack Tool car, coming.
That was a heck of a move you made there. Let's talk about the track surface. New record, pole speed, 2 miles an hour faster than the old record. Trying to put in 2 grooves. Going to be a lot better racing, do you think?
Yeah, it's going to be a little better than what we had here in the past, but it still ain't what we need here at Bristol. They've improved going in the corner, they've improved in the middle of the corner, but coming off, there's still only 1 groove. So whatever you do going in the middle, you better get ready to fall back in line coming off the corner.
That's Robert Presley, winner last week at Darlington. And Jerry, I think he's got to probably be one of the cars to watch. They were really hard at work this week. He says all the guys on the team are just sky high after last week's win.
And John, rightfully so. He will start back in 14th spot today. Let's take a look at our die-hard starting grid for this Budweiser 250. The front row, a brand new track record for Butch Miller out of Coopersville, Michigan. The Food Country USA Oldsmobile at over 121.2 miles per hour. And the youngster Benny Parsons just talked to, Jeff Gordon, just 20 years of age, brings the Baby Ruth Ford to the second starting spot. Back to row 2, Jimmy Spencer driving for Mike Laughlin, the Food City sponsored Chevrolet. He will start 3rd. And Todd Bodine, coming off a good 5th place finish last week at Darlington, is 4th. Back to rows 3 and 4, Joe Nemechek and Jimmy Hensley. 2 young drivers, 2 drivers looking for their first win this year. Hensley missed the Darlington race and the Atlanta event due to lack of sponsorship. There's Mike Wallace, his first time ever at this racetrack. Yes, he is the younger brother of Rusty and the older brother of Kenny. He will start 5th in his first start there, I should say inside row 4. And Bobby Dotter will start the 08 in 8th spot. Back to row 5, Jeff Green in the car number 16, and Ward Burton, the young man who won earlier this year at Rockingham. Row 6 is Tommy Houston and Bobby Labonte, the defending champion of this Bud 250. Row 7, Jeff Burton, trying to get a good run in the Phil Martosione machine. And there's the winner from last week, Robert Presley, starting 14th in his Oldsmobile. Row 8 is Tracy Leslie and Rick Mast. Row 9, you heard these 2 guys talking to Benny Parsons in the lounge a minute ago. Dale Jarrett and Harry Gant, starting 18th, 17th, and 18th. And row 10 is Davey Allison and Richard Lassiter. Rows 11 and 12, Ned, some pretty good drivers back in the field, including Chuck Bown, who's looking for that first short track win of the year.
Yeah, Kenny Wallace starting back there in 22nd place, and Bown, as you say, and Bown normally, in fact, he sat on the pole here last year, but just couldn't quite get the speed up this year. So it's going to be an interesting race. Steve Grissom, who always runs well here. And there's Ken Schrader subbing for Ernie Irvin in the car number 4 today. Dick Trickle starting back there as well in the car number 2.
And back in row 15, Ricky Craven, the 25-year-old Concord, New Hampshire driver, driving the DuPont Chevrolet, the 1991 NASCAR North Series champion. They're uncovering the race cars, and the sun has peeked through. It is a beautiful day now in Bristol, Tennessee, as we're getting set for Busch Grand National Series racing. Winston Cup to come tomorrow. Stay with us more after this.
I'm not going to buy just any tire.
We welcome you back to Bristol International Raceway for the Budweiser 250. Getting set to come your way, our ESPN Speed World coverage of Grand National Series racing. A very demanding racetrack here, Bristol International Raceway. 0.533 miles, a little over a half a mile. The pole speed, a brand new track record, 121.267 miles per hour. Field separation, just 1.1 seconds. And this racetrack, there are pits on both the front and back. You see is an oval. Symmetrical pits, both front and back stretch. The trouble areas, turn 2 and turn 4. The high banks, 36 degrees. The steepest banked track in all of NASCAR racing. The straightaways are banked some 16 degrees. That is just 2 degrees less than the tri-oval at Daytona. That is, of course, helping the track get dry right now as the track really coming to bear. The sun now poking through, and the crowd's filing into the racetrack. Let's check in once again on pit road with Benny Parsons.
Hey, Jerry, I was in the driver's lounge and I caught Rick Mast talking to Davey Allison, and Mast said that Davey told you the hot tip, the hot setup. What is it?
Benny, you've been around racing long enough to know, don't believe everything Davey Allison tells you. No. Davey's in this race, and he's running pretty good. Me and him back here towards the tail end of this pack. In fact, a lot of my buddies, me and Jarrett and Terry and Davey, I don't know. It was something to do with getting through the pack real quick, but I've seen Davey pull these things before. Don't do it.
What are you doing back there to start with?
Well, I come over here from the Winston Cup division side. I just want to come over and show the guys how to really sit on a pole and lap them and go away with it. And I guess I must have messed up when I qualified. I don't know. I'll be up front in 3 or 4 laps probably.
You think so? Jeff Bodine, I'm also with Jeff Bodine. You used to run these races. How come you're not running anymore?
I don't know. I slipped, I guess. I can't get a ride. Anyone out there with a Ford? I got to drive a Ford. I've said this before. Give me a call. I'm like to put a deal together. I was down in Aruba a couple days ago, Benny, and Kathy's down there watching me. They have satellites down in Aruba, so I need to say hi to everybody down there in Aruba.
Where's Aruba?
Down towards South America. It's way down there near the equator, where it's warm and sunny.
It's just the opposite here. It's cold and trying to rain.
Yeah, we can see our breath. Sun looks like it's going to come out, so I think we'll get this race underway here in a while. And I'm going to watch Rick and all these fellows, Davey and Harry, come through that pack in a couple of laps, because that's where I'm starting tomorrow, way in the back. I slipped qualifying, too.
You did? What happened?
I slipped. Tried too hard, I guess. I don't know. Just didn't do a very good job.
How you like the new surface?
It's great, smooth. It's going to be easier on us physically. We're not going to get beat up as bad, but mentally, it's tougher because we know we're going faster. So you push that edge more. The edge of disaster, either going fast or hitting a wall. So mentally, probably a tougher racetrack. Physically, maybe a little easier.
Well, we're going to go and talk to John Kernan, who's with another Bodine, Todd Bodine.
There's a bunch of us.
That's right. We've got the third Bodine brother in racing here. And Jeff just said his wife was down in Aruba. How about your wife? Is it one of those family type deals?
No. We got to go back to work in between races. We're not quite to the point where we can take vacations between them. But no, she's here. Looks like we're going to get this thing in. I tell you what, I was a little optimistic earlier. Went from a clear shield on my helmet to the dark one. So I think we're going to be racing here in a little while.
The track surface has really picked up the speeds. It's smoothed it out. What kind of a difference can you tell? You've got some limited experience here.
Well, I tell you, the main thing I think with this track is the corner speed is limited by the exit speed of the corner. And I think that the new pavement has allowed the tires to stick so much better that when you get through the middle of the corner real good, you can keep that speed up off the corner. And I think that's where you've picked up most of the speed.
Last week, 5th place finish at Darlington, starting 4th here at Bristol. It just, once that momentum gets going, it keeps rolling, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Both tracks have been good to me. We ran good both times last year at these tracks. I don't know what it is. It's one of these tracks where you really got to get after it. You got to be aggressive on it, and we seem to do pretty well on those tracks.
With the rain that came in this morning, kind of washed some of the rubber in the grooves that you guys may have put down yesterday in practice. Have the front 4 cars, have you guys gotten together and talked about what you're going to do at the beginning of the race?
No, we haven't yet. I'm sure we will before we get in, but yeah, it's going to be a little different. I'm not sure which way the track is, loose or a little tighter. We didn't change anything. We didn't know what to do, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Hopefully they can get some Winston Cup practice here, and maybe they'll put a little rubber down and get us a groove to run in again.
Saw your hood up just a minute ago. Any problem?
No, we just left a little heat shield off the motor, and no big deal.
Jerry, I tell you what, it looks like it's drying up very, very nicely. The sun has come out, and there's a little bit of steam rising from pit road where the water is evaporating, so we may be going racing soon. John, indeed, looks like it's going to be a beautiful afternoon here for racing at Bristol, Tennessee. Lots of sports action coming your way on ESPN. Coming up next at the conclusion of our Grand National event, the senior area. The showers have moved away, and the sun has popped through, and track drying is almost complete.
The drivers are headed toward their cars, and let's go back down the pit road where Benny Parsons is standing by with an anxious Grand National driver.
Jerry, we're down with Ward Burton, who claimed victory at the Rockingham racetrack, the 200-miler, back the 1st of March or the last of February. And how do you like the half-banked track here at Bristol, the new pavement, Ward?
Well, I tell you what, the Bristol Raceway has done a super job. It really makes the cars grip well. Only problem I saw at Bristol the last couple of times here is the outside groove. It's kind of like a no man's land. You got one lane, and you're either there or you're not. When you're not there, you're going to go to the rear. So hopefully we can get both of those lanes worked in today, and everybody has some good racing.
The second groove has to be a concern. I mean, we were standing here talking just before we went on the air, and you're concerned. You want the Winston Cup cars to get out there and work out that second groove, so when you start lapping cars or passing cars, there is some place to go.
I think it really helped, Benny. You know, Les Richter and Robert Black put some pallets up there yesterday, and it made us go to outside going in the corner. And within 30 minutes, we were running almost as quick outside as we did on the inside. And then, you know, like if I had a fella in front of me and my Gwaltney car was strong enough to pass him, I could go in a little harder. I could go to outside and get up beside him to get by him coming out of the 2 or 4. But when it's no groove on the outside, just pretty much follow the leader, and about the only way you're going to get around somebody to move them, and you start doing that, you know, we're going to start having a bunch of bang-ups.
And we don't need a bunch of bang-ups. John Kernan is down with, I think, Jimmy Spencer, aren't you, John?
That's right, Benny. I'm with Mr. Excitement, who's excited about starting third today, but the rain kind of washed out your hopes for tomorrow.
Yeah, John, you know, anything I could do today, I'd give up to start the 500 tomorrow. You know, Food City sponsoring the race, and the Food City car won't be in it. But that's life, you know, and we just got to pack our bags, go home, and get ready for Wilkesboro next week.
Do you give it any more effort today for a good showing then?
Not really, John. You know, I tell you, you know, we're going to do the best we can do. We feel we have a capable car winning the race. You know, being that the track's all washed off pretty fresh and clean, it's going to be real fast. And I think everybody is going to hope for the first 10 or 15 laps to get to know where their setup is. That's what we're shooting for, you know, sort of feel out the racetrack, see what we can do, and hopefully we got it right and get to the front.
You know, they've done some improvement here with the pavement. Can you tell that much of a difference?
John, it's extremely fast. I mean, you know, it shows you by the times we've ran. I think the pole last year was like a 16:40 in the Busch race, and now the pole's a 15:84. Just incredible speed. They've taken the bumps out of turn 2. They've taken the bumps out of turn 4. The bumps out of turn 2 is where a lot of accidents happen. I don't think you're going to see that anymore. If the drivers use their head and race 2 by 2, will be fine, but the track's wide enough to race 3 wide. I just hope that doesn't happen. I hope we have a safe race.
You know, they call you Mr. Excitement. You got 2 guys in front of you. You're going to go up and talk to them and say, hey, you know, the rubber's washed off. We need to take it easy, and then try and get by them on the start?
No, that's... I think they know what I'm going to try to do, you know, and I just want a clean race today, and hopefully this Food City Chevrolet will finish, and we'll put it up front.
That's Jimmy Spencer, who is starting third today, but disappointingly, he won't be in tomorrow's race. Jerry?
Thank you, John. We might explain that he qualifies awfully well here and runs well. In fact, he led a lot of laps in the Winston Cup race a year ago, but then in his qualifying run, he was pushing that car a little hard, and the car broke loose in that qualifying lap, and that cost him some time.
On these first of the 2 laps that they give on the short tracks, he did break loose going into turn 3, but he did gather it back in, didn't spin out, but that affected his speed as he came off of turn 4, didn't come across the start-finish line as fast as he needed to, and when he went back into turn 3, he drove in there a little bit too hard again, and the car broke loose. Maybe it wasn't set up right, but anyway, it did cost him a spot in the race tomorrow since they were not able to have second-round qualifying.
So Jimmy Spencer's qualifying lap a little over 112 miles an hour, not good enough to get him in the field tomorrow, but certainly this is his kind of racetracks here. Bristol, remember how well he ran at Wilkesboro a year ago, and so he'll be back next week in the Winston Cup competition. We're getting set for Busch Grand National Series racing action. Let's check in with Benny Parsons, who's caught up with another Grand National Series competitor.
Jerry, this time I've caught up with Bobby Labonte, last year's champion, but 1992 hasn't been too good to you, has it, Bobby?
Well, you know, not really. You know, we're just trying to get this Slim Jim Chevrolet up there at the end of a race. You know, we run good in the middle stages of a race, the early stages of a race, but our finishes haven't been that good. So with a little luck, you know, and a little progression here, we're going to be up there at the end.
Okay, the groove. Yesterday afternoon, there was 2 grooves out there. Are you going to be able to pass on the outside and get to the front?
Well, it's kind of hard to say. You know, the rain's kind of washed that groove away now, but I don't know. If the track stays together, it should be all right. It's a little tight going in, a little tight coming off the corners, but it's going to take a little working, but I believe it'll work its way up.
Well, you're back here. You got to start working to get up there. Have you talked to anybody? Anybody gonna help you work that top groove out?
Yeah, the spotter.
Oh, the spotter is.
That's the main thing here.
The guy up on top that tells you there's trouble ahead.
That's right. You're going pretty fast here. You got to watch out for trouble way ahead. So he's going to tell me whether people are going up high or staying down low. If somebody goes up high and goes backwards, well, that's not the place to be. So sometimes that's going to be more helpful than trying it yourself.
Jerry, someone's telling me that's like 3 seconds on the straightaway here. 3 seconds that you're going down the straightaway, and you really can't see in the corner. So the spotters today are going to be critical.
Indeed, Benny, they are critical, and Ned, of course, you can't see that well here. You depend on someone else to be your eyes.
You really have to, because as Bobby Labonte said, you're just going so fast, and as Benny said, just 3 seconds on the straightaway, you don't have time to look around and think very much. So it is going to be, it's a critical track, and it's going to be even more critical because they are running faster with this new pavement.
And that's Bobby Labonte's car number 44, the Slim Jim Chevrolet, scheduled to start back in 12th position. 27 years of age out of Corpus Christi, Texas. Now, he's been so impressive with this racetrack. Won this race a year ago. Remember, he has run awfully well, set on the pole here a couple of times in the past. And so he certainly is always a factor to run well at this racetrack.
And you can see everybody there wanting to go, Jerry, but not quite ready yet.
Track drying continues here for this race in 1992. Well, let's go back and take a look at the Budweiser 250 from a year ago. Let's go back to standby programming. And there's the signal. One lap will be underway with green flag racing, and it's almost unbelievable. This morning, the showers came, the rains came, the weatherman, no one gave him a chance, but Les Richter from NASCAR, Dick Beatty, and those folks wouldn't give up. Neither would Larry Carrier and his fine staff at Bristol International Raceway. What a beautiful facility. The fastest half-mile track in NASCAR racing. Here, they have tremendous renovations. Every time we come here, they build something new stands, concessions, restrooms. All the creature comforts, and the fans love this track so much they stand in line to buy tickets here. And you folks sitting at home are going to get a chance to watch some of the best short track racing in America as we're getting set about 200 yards from the green flag on this 8th Busch Series race of the year, the Budweiser 250 getting set to come your way. Harwood top the flag stand as they get the green flag. Peel off into turn 1.
I expect they're going to be a little bit tiptoey here for the first few laps, although Ernie Irvan is not tiptoeing around. He's taking the lead. But I think they'll be a little bit careful because they want to feel the track out. They know that there's been a lot of rain fell on it last night, and they don't want to take any extra chances here until they get the feel of it.
Not a conservative bone in Ernie Irvan's body, that's for sure. Remember, he picked up his first ever Winston Cup win here last August. Now Jimmy Hensley trying to make a move to the inside of Jeff Burton, 2 of the Busch Series regulars. Burton, our pole sitter there. The Armor Meats Food Line Chevrolet. Hensley, a new convenience store sponsorship on the side of his car, the Oldsmobile, the Don Beverly-owned car.
Jerry Michael Waltrip mentioned that he had to go to the rear of the field because of missing the driver's meeting. Butch Miller also had to go to the rear of the field. He missed the driver's meeting. He was scheduled to start in the 9th position. So those drivers have a long way to go up through that traffic to get towards the front.
There's the separation. There's the Mack Tools Chevrolet for Ernie Irvan. Ernie has run 4 Busch Series events this year and has not finished a single one. He said, I just haven't had any luck in the Busch car. Maybe it'll change today. But right now, things are going pretty well for him.
Yeah, he has run good in every race that he has been in. But just hasn't had the luck to finish them.
We told you to keep an eye on Dave Resendez. He would be a factor, the 31-year-old Massachusetts driver, the KR Resendez Incorporated Oldsmobile. He's on the Hoosier tires, and probably more importantly, a factor is his crew chief, Jim Harmon, 39-year-old Jim Harmon, who's from this area, just outside of Johnson City. Remember, Harmon was a veteran crew chief when Larry Pearson won the Busch Series championship. He was with Harry Gant when Harry won 3 events in Busch Series racing, and last year was Rick Mast. But Rick Mast won twice on the series, so Jim Harmon definitely becoming a factor there for that car number 79 driver, Dave Resendez.
Certainly knows how to set it up to get around this racetrack. You see, most of the drivers are using the low groove as they go into the turns. That's the way we normally see it here at Bristol. Normally, as the race goes on for a little while, they move up a little bit. Maybe since it's a cool day, somewhat of a damp day, they might not move that groove as high as they would on a hotter, sun-shining day.
Now Jeff Burton has moved away a little bit from Jimmy Hensley and begins to close in somewhat on the leader. Here is Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon. Now, Jeff Gordon's going to learn a lot about driving this racetrack when he follows that man around.
Yes, he will. He can get some good lessons in a hurry, and he just might be doing that, Jerry. Jeff has had some good runs in the Busch Series. You mentioned last week that Darlington had his first top 10 finish, and he wants to learn. He's young, and he knows there's no better teacher than Dale Earnhardt, so he might just be following him around there and not even trying to make a pass.
A couple of cars getting together. Jeff Green and Todd Bodine coming together. Green losing a couple of spots there. Now his car's still up very high. There's Jeff Green, 28-year-old Owensboro, Kentucky driver. He now tries to get the car back to speed. He's cutting the outside of the track out of the groove.
Yes, and there's going to be a lot of cars go by Jared before he can get back down in the groove. There we see Jeff Gordon and Bob Bodine coming up on. Let's take a look at and see what happened. There's Kenny Wallace in the black car with the green numbers, and then Ward Burton in car number 75. Here comes Green in car number 8, and up in the top of your screen, the Todd Bodine car trying to get around Jeff Green, and they touched just a little bit and sent him up into the slower part of the racetrack.
And back up front now, Jeff Burton has caught Ernie Irvin. Jeff Burton looking to pick up his second Busch Series win. He picked up one a year ago. An exciting racing ran at Martinsville, Virginia. Remember his girlfriend Kim, who jumped the wall, leaped the pit wall like an Olympic hurdler to get over to celebrate with Jeff. And certainly that team is really coming together. That's the J&J Racing team owned by Bill Papke and John Jackson.
Put some pressure. I believe Ernie's car has gotten a little bit loose. He pulled out to a pretty good lead there at the beginning, but you can see as it goes up, it looked like the back end was a little bit loose going into the turn, and that problem will correct itself. In fact, it gets worse as time goes by.
Not quite enough room to get beneath Ernie Irvin. Separation back. That battle, car number 79. There's Resendez, and in the 79, Kenny Wallace, the top split preserving car. That's the black and green numeral, car number 36. And Ward Burton, the 75. Now, Ward is Jeff Burton's older brother. He's 28. Jeff is 23. That is Ward Burton in the car number 75. That is 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. As those cars running, 79 cars in 5th spot. Ward Burton thinking about making a move. Here's Resendez once again in his Oldsmobile.
Now there you see Davey Allison coming into the picture. He has caught that group, and Tommy Houston has a problem on the Rogers Store Buick. How about it, Benny Parsons?
Yeah, it's not a flat tire. No, something's broken in the right front. Scott Houston took the right front tire off and looked for something in the right front is broken. They'll probably bring the car behind pit wall. We find out what
It's a tough racetrack here at Bristol, Tennessee, and of course possibly something breaking in the suspension there. You see Scott Houston working on the right front of that Roses Stores Buick for Tommy Houston. Green flag racing here at Bristol, Tennessee, and there's the man they're chasing, Ernie Irvin, the McTool Chevrolet. Stay with us, more coming your way when we come back.
He breaks a tackle at the 5, slides into second, rounds the backstretch, dribbles between the legs, shreds the mogul, catches air, skates past center right, serves an ace, connects.
The Suzuki Dual Sport 350S, the ultimate cross trainer.
Get into practice this morning. They were scheduled for a practice session at 9 o'clock, but it was raining at that time, so they didn't get any practice after qualifying, as a matter of fact. So they had to sort of guess from their qualifying. Here's trouble up in turn 4. It's Ed Faree, one of the rookie drivers.
He has spun that car number 49 up against the outside wall. Doesn't appear to be that damaged. He can keep the car up with traffic coming through. Car number 49, the Wolf's Head Oil Buick. You can see how that banking comes. These are self-cleaning banks here, 36 degrees, and if you're sitting still, you're not going to sit there for very long. You'll roll down across the bank, and Ed Faree gets that car refired. We'll head back around and take his position. See, he is a rookie competitor. Nearly won a race at Hickory a few weeks ago in this same race car here, so he has been a factor already, even though it's his rookie season. Let's take a look again and to see if we can see exactly what may have happened to this this driver coming up in turns 3 and 4, just in front of the leaders.
Yes, it was right in front of Ernie Irvin in the yellow car. It looks like that it just lost traction as he came around, started off of turn 4, and that's not unusual. We pointed out at the top of the broadcast that that is one of the trouble spots, and he might have just barely clipped the cement wall on the outside there, Jerry, but I don't believe he did any great amount of damage.
There he is back in line, just a little bit of sheet metal damage. We mentioned that Jeff Gordon had pulled his car behind the wall. Let's check in and see what the problem actually was. Benny?
Jerry, I'm with Bill Davis, the owner and crew chief. Bill, what happened to the car?
Evidently something got under the hood, Benny, and just took all the belts off. The water pump, the oil pump, the power steering, they were all gone. And of course, without oil pressure, it just takes a minute to lock it up.
Well, that's it down here, Jerry.
And the fans enjoying the racing action here at Bristol, Tennessee, as we are under caution here this afternoon on a spin by Ed Faree. Ernie Irvin showing the way. Don't go away.
Jack, you look great. New clubs, new shoes, new ball.
Well, it's the new me, Bill.
New golf game, too?
We'll see.
It's showtime.
Showtime.
Hey! Whoa!
Maybe a 2-iron, Bill?
Yeah, a 2-iron. I just don't get it.
Well, it's showtime, Bill. And it's not the shoes, it's not the clubs, it's not the ball. It's this latest video from Golf Digest, how to get distance and accuracy.
A video?
Yeah, anyone can get it, and it's free when you subscribe to Golf Digest.
Huh.
Outdrive your partner with this half-hour instructional video, free with a 1-year subscription to Golf Digest. Just $19.77. Call 800-367-5800. Imagine the video and Golf Digest. Call 800-367-5800.
Win a trip to the World Series or a week at ESPN's Fantasy Baseball Camp. It's the Babe Movie Contest. Call 1-900-737-1714. The call costs 99 cents a minute. To enter, correctly answer a question based on the movie The Babe, or send name, address, phone number, and the name of the last team the Babe played for to this address. Winners selected by random drawing. Get a different trivia fact nightly on ESPN's Baseball Tonight. And watch for The Babe, starring John Goodman, at a theater near you.
Back at Bristol International Raceway. A good crowd on hand this afternoon here for Busch Grand National Series racing action. The Budweiser 250. Early laps here. We have 35 laps complete of the 250, which will comprise this event this afternoon.
And they're about ready to go back to green flag racing, Jared. The signal was given and came by the last time. One more lap. So they're positioning themselves. A couple of the cars that are lapped down. Gets up on the outside there as Ernie Irvin leads them behind the pace car into turn 3.
You see back there Dale Jarrett and Dale Earnhardt just moving to the left of your screen have now moved into the top 10. They are 9th and 10th respectively, as is Harry Gant and Morgan Shepherd. So some of the Winston Cup regulars, there's Davey Allison and Michael Waltrip. Those two cars trying to make their way back to the front.
And as they get ready to get the green flag, we understand that Brad Teague has gotten back in his car that Steve Bristol started. Green flag waiting.
Back to green. Good job by Ernie Irvin. Some of the lap cars have pulled down to the inside. Joe Nemechek in the car number 87, and now Jeff Burton will have to deal with Nemechek, and that gives Irvin a chance to get away.
Boy, he is able to get to a good, strong lead. Burton still has not been able to move around the Joe Nemechek car.
Now he says, hey, Joe, I'm back here with a little bit of bumper tag, and Joe does move to the inside. In deference to Joe Nemechek, this track's probably a lot of concern over getting the cars out of the groove here. Down on the inside with some of the moisture we've had today, but the track has dried nicely and good racing action. But that has given Ernie Irvin a chance to really pull away as they shuffle it back in the pack there. There's Todd Bodine, the car number 34. Kenny Wallace now making a move inside the lap car of Jeff Green.
Well, a lot of shuffling going on back there. Dale Jarrett moves under Gene Spencer going into turn 1. Spencer on the green car on the outside, and that's going to cost him a lot of position. Here's Harry Gant moving up through the pack as well. He started way back in the pack and has made a good move towards the front. He's probably running in the top 15 now.
Harry Gant behind the car number 72 of Frankie Leslie. There's the Richard Lassiter car number 05, one of the rookie competitors. Ed Whitaker on Buick, the Stoll colors of Harry Gant. There have been 17 Busch Series events here over the years. Harry has never won, but would like to pick up a win today. And there's a man just moving in behind Harry, just coming into your screen now. That's Morgan Shepherd in the car number 97. Morgan is the winningest driver in Busch Series history this racetrack with 4 wins of the 17 events.
Here's a good battle. Chuck Bown in the red car. Now he's trying to move around Joe Nemechek, Dale Jarrett, and the car number 75 of Ward Burton. Now Earnhardt goes on the inside of him. A lot of scrambling going on back there for those positions. That's about 6th, 7th, and 8th that they're battling for there. Now here comes Earnhardt on the inside of 75. He touches Jarrett. Jarrett's trying to get around the 87 car. He said, just give me a little bit of room here. And he gives him the room, and now they got clear sailing, but another group of people come up on Nemechek. Boy, he has really been in the difficult out there.
He looks like a cue ball out there in that white car with the big red number 87 on the side. There's Earnhardt and David Green really following Dale Earnhardt. I mean, it's like following a snow plow. You know, somewhere when it snows, you let him clear the way, and it's
there's trouble back there behind them.
That is Ward Burton.
Morgan Shepherd was involved. Morgan has a lot of damage on his car. He's still on the racetrack going into turn 3, but there is a lot of damage to it.
And Morgan Shepherd was trying to miss Ward Burton as Burton's car came right down in front of him. There's the Charlie Henderson-owned car number 75. That's an Oldsmobile. It was a Chevrolet last week, and they are running, I guess, an Oldsmobile here, the Food Country USA car, and Ward Burton gets the car refired. Significant damage to the left side of the car and the back of the car. Let's see what happened.
Well, that was that group of cars that were running awfully tight, and Ward might have got tapped as he went into the turn, started into turn 1, Jerry, and it slid him into the outside wall. He comes back down directly in front of Morgan Shepherd. Morgan was already committed down on the flat part of the racetrack, couldn't do anything about it, just slid down and hit the left front of Morgan's car. And he slid down into the pits, and see, it's still wet down in that area. He doesn't have a great deal of control, and those people with those vehicles say, oh, I hope he misses me. And sure enough, he misses a beautiful van there. Slides right up in that open space.
Yeah, parallel parking at its finest down there in the pits behind the backstretch pits, and certainly some significant damage on that car. And there is Ward Burton, a 28-year-old driver who was a runner-up last year in the Rookie of the Year standing. So another close call for some of the Busch Series competitors. Under caution again today at Bristol, Tennessee. 46 laps complete. Lots of racing to come your way. Don't go away.
It was 8 o'clock in there, right? Yeah. My truck wouldn't start. And the lights worked, but the engine wouldn't turn over. So I figured it must be the start.
On the wall now, Jerry. I suspect that either broke an oil line or a gas line. That's what caused the fire. And he was involved with Ward Burton in that crash. Okay, we're about ready to go green flag racing again.
49 laps complete. 250 will make up this Busch Series event. The Budweiser 250 getting back to green flag racing action. And this time, Ernie Irvin does not get a jump. Ward Burton. Whoa, Ward Burton. Or should I say Jeff Burton trying to move underneath the Jeff Green car. Green did a great job of saving the car, and now Green, who was trying to get a lap back, and Jeff Burton and Jimmy Hensley pull around him.
Boy, he's up there on that outside, though, Jeff Green is, and it's awfully tough. Here's Michael Walker back in the pits on green flag, so he has gone 1 lap down now. Evidently had a tire going down.
He had some sheet metal damage in the right front and possibly cut a tire. Remember, you cannot change tires under caution here without a lap penalty in Busch Series racing, or a 2-lap penalty, we should say. So opted to come in under the green flag and change the right front tire.
So Michael is at least 2 laps down now as he goes back out into the action.
There's Irvin, Jeff Burton, the second place car, number 99, Jimmy Hensley in third. Ernie Irvin now stretching it out about 8 or 10 car lengths.
It seems when they run a little while that Burton is able to come back up on him, but after the restarts, Irvin pulls away.
Take a look at our field snapshot and see all the cars coming out of turn 4. Coming at you, the average speed for a lap here is just about 117 miles an hour. What kind of speeds will they pull at the middle of the straightaway here, Dan? What kind of top speed?
I expect at the end of the straightaway, before they decrease going into the turns, Jerry, they're running 135, 140 miles an hour. Although they don't have to decelerate as much here as they would at Martinsville or one of the other tracks, but they do have to back off of the gas. And, of course, the high banks here scrubs quite a bit of speed off in the turns.
Here's 5th, 6th, and 7th. The 5th place car, Kenny Wallace, on the left of your screen there. That's the green numeral number 36. In 6th place is Chuck Bown, the Nescafe Classic Pontiac. And right behind him, chomping away, the Nestle's Crunch car. That is Dale Jarrett. Dale Jarrett, of course, started back in 12th, up to 12th on lap 15 at the starting 14th. 10th on lap 20 and 6th on lap 56, so he's making his way to the front.
He had a good car, Jerry. Thought he had a shot at the pole, but there were some rain showers in the area yesterday at the end of qualifying. He was the next to the last car to qualify, and the track had gotten a little bit slippery, so he blamed his qualifying speed on that fact. And, in fact, I think it had something to do with Jack Ingram perhaps not making the field. Jack was one of those late qualifiers, and the track was a little bit slippery, but they did get all the qualifying in yesterday, and they were only scheduled for one round of qualifying.
Of course, he's the only multi-time winner this year in Busch Series racing. There's Chuck Bown. 7 career Grand National wins, 6 of those coming last year. Phenomenal year as he won 5 of those 6 events in just a span of around 13 races. He had a tremendous segment of the season towards the mid-part of the year last year. In fact, he had not won a race until the end of April last year, and he is still winless this year, but they are not that concerned. He realizes how strong that car runs on some of the short tracks. He and Dale Jarrett having a whale of a battle for 6th spot. Meanwhile, just about a half a turn away is Ernie Irvin. He has set sail in the McTool Chevrolet.
But now the distance has stabilized a little bit between he and Jeff Burton. In fact, Burton might be beginning to gain a little bit on him again as we continue to watch that battle between Dale Jarrett and Chuck Bown. Chuck doing a good job of holding that inside groove. That's where he needs to be. Jarrett tries to get a nose on him every time coming on the turn 2, but can't quite do it.
Not quite enough room. Just one groove right there where the car is still comfortable. Chuck Bown doing a very, very good job holding him off. And Dale Earnhardt has the best seat in the house for that battle, as he is in 8th spot. There's a Goodrich Chevrolet driver.
Now, whether he's staying back there far enough in case those 2 cars tangle that he could dodge them, or if maybe his car just won't quite get up there. I don't know. Normally, if there's a battle going on, Earnhardt can get in and he'll be up there in it. So I would guess that.
While Dale Jarrett and Chuck Bown are battling among themselves, they are reeling in the 4th and 5th place cars. Now Jarrett makes a move to the inside down the backstretch. Not a lot of time to get the car wound up.
Whoops, they touch a little bit there. A little bit of the bumper to up down. I see that allowed Earnhardt to catch up to them. Just that one little bit of a bump and got him a little out of shape. They had to back off of the gas, and there's Earnhardt right with him, along with David Green and Jimmy Spencer in the green car.
6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Those 5 cars running together there, getting ready to go around the lap car. Richard Lassiter, the yellow number 05. Chuck Bown, Dale Jarrett, Dale Earnhardt, David Green, and Jimmy Spencer. Some of the cars that have already called it a day here at Bristol. Jeff Gordon, the Bill Davis car. Morgan Shepherd, you saw he was involved in that crash, as was Robert Presley. Tough break for those 3 drivers, already having a part in the early stages of this Busch Series event.
Jared, as you speak, Brad Teague has brought his car, number 38, into the pits on the backstretch, running very slowly. He did get back in that car after Steve Bristol started the car to get the points, but they're having problems today.
We mentioned Chuck Bown won 6 events last year, all 6 of those races coming on the short tracks. This is his favorite race car. This is the car he won 4 of those 6 events with. It's the car they were saving to try to make a charge for the points championship again in 1991, but going to be tough to beat Kenny Wallace. Kenny Wallace has had a phenomenal beginning of the year. You just caught a glimpse of Kenny. He is the 5th place car just in front of Chuck Bown. There is Kenny Wallace, the Coxwood preserving car, and he is 5th, and right in front of him, Todd Bodine. Talking about a great year, Todd Bodine in that car number 34, the Clyde McLeod prepared Frank Cece racing car. He has had 4 top 10 finishes in the last 5 starts.
He has been running very, very good, and for a rookie on this circuit, very impressive. Very back up front. The Ernie Irvin car continues to lead, but Jeff Burton had almost caught him until they got in some traffic. He is a little closer to it than the last time we saw him. So on the long green flag runs, it seems that Burton is able to, until he gets in traffic, that is. Now Irvin is opening back up, but look right on Burton's bumper is the car number 25 of Jimmy Hensley.
Jimmy Hensley in the car number 25, a Don Beverly-owned car, sporting the new colors here at the Golden Gallon convenience stores, sponsoring Hensley. And there's the man they're chasing, Ernie Irvin. Driver of the car, number 10, the Mac Tool Chevrolet. Ernie showing the way as we approach the 100-lap mark. Coverage at 7:30 p.m. This race will air in entirety this coming Wednesday at 3:30 a.m. And, of course, there will be highlights next week on our Saturday Night Thunder coverage. Back here tomorrow for the Food City 500 live flag-to-flag coverage starting at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Can Rusty Wallace repeat? We'll have all the action tomorrow at 12 noon from Bristol, Tennessee. Back at Bristol, Tennessee, getting set for more green flag racing action. Some of the cars have already been in the pits. We mentioned Chuck Bown, Dale Earnhardt, Todd Bodine, and Dale Jarrett have made quick stops on pit road as we go back to green flag racing action. Ernie Irvan pulls away by 3 or 4 car lengths out of turn 2. Jeff Burton still in the pursuit.
We're showing 16 cars still on the new lap, Jerry. So Butch Miller is the car number 52 we just saw there. Is currently being shown in 17th position. He is 1 lap down.
Black flag being shown to the car number 36. That's Kenny Wallace.
Apparently he made a little bit of a jump on the restart there, Jerry, and that's going to hurt him because he has gone a lap down. The point leader now in the Busch Grand National Series on the wet pit road.
Stop and go penalty for Kenny Wallace. Hard to get that car. He had to stop it completely. Then the NASCAR official pulled away and said, okay, you can go. He spun those tires trying to exit pit road. There's Ernie Irvan, Jeff Burton, Jimmy Hensley.
Now, certainly they'll have to stop for fuel. They can't go 250 laps on the tank of fuel here, so you wonder if Dale Earnhardt, Dale Jarrett, and some of those drivers somehow made a pit stop during this caution. If they will be able to go without changing tires. Maybe that's what they had in mind.
Well, Dale Earnhardt did not change. The crew, the Goodrich crew, Tony Urey, Rick Boston, looked the tires over. Likewise, John Irvin. Kenny Canup and the rest of the Nestle's Crunch crew there for Dale Jarrett looked his tires over, did not change, just added fuel to the car.
Of course, if they change tires during caution periods, it's a 2-lap penalty. So we honestly didn't expect them to change under caution, but maybe they're going to try to go without even changing the period.
Jimmy Hensley trying to move in now. Here is Chuck Bown and Dale Earnhardt mixing it up right behind the Butch Miller car. Miller is in the white red numeral car number 52. There is Earnhardt. They rub a little bit coming in turns 1 and 2.
They're running for 9th position. Chuck Bown in 9th, and looks like he might use the lap car of Butch Miller to stay in front of Dale Earnhardt. Miller moves down, gives them plenty of racing room. That's 9th and 10th. Earnhardt running 10th now, even after making that pit stop. And here's the battle for second.
Challenge for second spot, and Jimmy Hensley makes it look easy. The 45-year-old veteran just moves to the inside of Jeff Burton, fellow Virginian, and takes the second spot away.
Jimmy has run a good, smooth, calculated race. Sit there in 3rd place most of the time. Decided it was time to start moving a little bit. They moved up into 2nd. They pushed the Todd Bodine car behind the wall. You can see him there in the middle of your screen, pushing it up through there. So apparently he's out of the race.
That's the differential between Ernie Irvan, the leader, and Jimmy Hensley now, who has gone around Jeff Burton to take second spot away. We'll see if Hensley can do anything with Ernie Irvan, possibly really. He's already pulled about 4 car lengths, making 5 car lengths from the 2nd from the 3rd place car. Here's Dale Jarrett, who made that quick stop during the caution flag on pit road. We have been told there may be a problem on Dale Jarrett's Nestle's Crunch car. Let's check it in the pits with Benny Parsons.
Yeah, Jerry Punch, you was talking about that might be strategy that Dale Jarrett was trying to do with making a pit stop and go the rest well fuel. He is complaining about a vibration. John Irvin and the crew brought him in so they could look at all 4 tires to make sure, A, he didn't have a flat tire, or the lug nuts were loose. Everything seemed to be in fine shape as far as they're concerned. They sent him back on the track. I'll check with him and see if the vibration's still there.
Here's a battle. Bobby Labonte in the car number 44.
He has moved up to 4th place in the Penrose Sausages car number 44. Battling with Jeff Burton, who has dropped back to 3rd after Jimmy Hensley moved around it.
Remember, Bobby Labonte started on the pole here from both Busch Series events last year. Still looking for that first Busch Series win. Jeff Burton, of course, having won at Martinsville a year ago. At the 3rd and 4th place cars. And getting back to that report Benny Parsons gave a minute ago about the vibration possibly in Dale Jarrett's car. With this tough racetrack here, you don't want to leave any vibration unexamined.
No, you don't, because if something goes wrong, you go into one of these turns as fast as they go into it, it could be big trouble. So I'm sure that Dale has been riding on sort of pins and needles there, wondering what that vibration is.
That's Tom Peck in the car number 96. And his car now was being shown in the 7th place. He moves by the car of Michael Waltrip. Now Tom Peck has started shotgun on the field back in 32nd spot. The McConnellsburg, Pennsylvania driver. The Thomas Chevrolet Oldsmobile.
Made a very impressive run towards the front.
He said this track reminds him a lot of some of the tracks up in the Pennsylvania area where he got his start.
There's the car number 33 of Ed Berrier, who is currently being shown in the 8th position. Ed had some misfortune last week at Darlington. He was running in the lead lap late in the race in the top 10 and got taken into the wall by another car. And has a new sponsor on that car today, Cakes, Pickles, and Relishes. That's a one-race type of a deal, but the folks at Cakes are looking at it as a possible long-term deal, and we hope that comes about because Ed Berrier is a fine race driver. His dad, Max Berrier, a long-time racer many years ago, and everybody feels that Ed has a lot of potential. And so hope things work out that he can keep that sponsorship and keep running in the Busch Grand National Series.
Well, pickle power working well for him today, and here's Penrose power. We're talking about those pickled sausages, and that's what we're showing on the side of Bobby Labonte's car. And there's Jeff Burton, currently in 3rd place, driving the car number 99, and there's the smile from Bobby Labonte as well. Two fine-looking young men who have exemplified what this Busch Series is all about.
So that's the Armor Meats cars that Jeff Burton is driving. A lot of the food companies getting in as sponsors, particularly in the Busch Grand National Series now, and it's good to see that.
We mentioned Bobby Labonte is still searching for that first win. He looked like he might get it early this year at Rockingham. He led a lot of laps down there, and sure, just a few laps to go. Here comes Dale Jarrett. Last week at Darlington again, Dale Jarrett passes him to take the win, and we asked Bobby, hey, do you have nightmares about this guy named Jarrett?
Well, no, but I did think about let's get somebody to get a warrant for his arrest this week so he wouldn't show up here. But no, he's a good competitor. I figure if we can beat him, then that'll be just that much better.
Well, I tell you, he's got to be thinking every time he gets in a position to win a race, Dale Jarrett comes up and passes him with a few laps. So let him do all the work and lead the laps, and then he ends up finishing 2nd or 3rd. But Bobby Labonte is going to be, he's already a good driver, and he's going to be a great one.
Yes, and a lot of people think that too. Some of the car owners, as a matter of fact, in Winston Cup racing, Jerry, have had an eye on that young man. And I think in a few years, once he gets more experience in this Busch Grand National Series, that you'll see Bobby Labonte a major force in NASCAR stock car racing in the future.
There's Dale Jarrett after making that scheduled stop under the caution to check for that vibration. They filled the car full of fuel, making his way back up to the pack.
He's currently being shown in 14th position. In fact, that's 13th, 14th, and 15th that we're seeing. Tracy Leslie in car number 72, the Detroit Gaston's car, is running 13th. Jarrett in 14th, and David Green in the TIC Financial car running in the 15th position. They're the last cars on the lead lap.
I tell you, Dale Jarrett said climbing back toward the top. Whoa, and a little bit of contact as Bobby Labonte trying to get a little bit of room. He says, well, if I shove a little bit of this armor here on the side of this Chevrolet, I can get underneath and put my sausage up there in 3rd spot.
So Bobby Labonte does take over the 3rd position as Ernie Irvin, the leader, is in the pits. Scheduled pit stop, I would say, Jerry. Pitting on the backstretch, taking on right side tires on the Mac Tools car. Now he'll go a lap down, at least 1 lap down. They have the service completed, just taking on right, building up the gas. That should get him set for the rest of the way. Now he's going to have to hurry to get out of the pits and not lose another lap because Jimmy Hensley has taken over the lead. And Hensley now coming into turn 3. We'll see him come into the picture on the outside there in just a moment. Well, maybe not. Ernie might be able. No, there goes Jimmy Hensley around him. So Hensley is 2 laps down now. That was a long pit stop, and he took a lot of time getting out of the pits, but he needed to, Jerry, because it was wet down there, and he was very careful. But now that he has those new tires on, he'll be able to get one of those laps back pretty quick.
Ernie Irvin now trying to be very careful to get that car off the pit road because of the dampness on pit road. He has lost the lead, and other crew members waiting for their service on their cars. More when we come back after this. Changed that tire and is now back on the racetrack. Average speed 92.549 miles per hour. The track record for Busch Series for this event is a little over 85 miles an hour. And just moments ago, Jeff Burton, our pole sitter here in the Armor Food Line Chevrolet, came in for a pit stop. And how damp is pit road? We'll take a look.
He locked the brakes and it slid sideways on him. They went ahead and changed the tires and put in gas. But that's a penalty, Jerry. And I guess even on a wet pit road, they brought him back in after they made this service and for a stop-and-go penalty. So that was a very tough break there for Jeff Burton.
You see him spinning those tires trying to get down pit road. That's what cost Ernie Irvin so much time with his pit stop over in the backstretch. Trying to get the car righted, and Michael Waltrip having his problems. He pulls that car behind the wall. So problems all over the track. Let's check in now with Benny Parsons, who has, I think, the tire that came off the Dale Jarrett car. Close call for Dale.
Yes, I do, Jerry. This is the right front tire that came off Dale Jarrett's car. As you can see, obviously the tire is flat. The concern is this ring around the inside of the tire. They hope that ring was made after the tire went flat and not before. We can see where the tire has been rubbed, a hole rubbed in the tire right in here. If this was doing before the tire went flat, he could be back in here with similar problems. We just have to wait and see.
Well, that could be a problem. Because you cut a tire on this racetrack. He was very fortunate when the tire went down before that, as you said, Jerry, almost got into the wall, and this time he got by with that one.
Okay, here's a battle for the 7th spot. Car number 96 and 33 back there along. Of course, that is Earnhardt in the car number 3 back there. Earnhardt being shown in 10th. In front of him in the 9th spot is Chuck Bown. There's Tom Peck in the car number 96, and behind him, Ed Berrier.
The updated scoring, Jerry, has shown that Chuck Bown now has moved into the 6th position and Earnhardt in 7th. That's after those pit stops were made by some of the leaders. So they're moving back up towards the front. Of course, Jimmy Hensley is the leader. Bobby Labonte is 2nd. Davey Allison now has moved up to 3rd. And in 4th place is Ed Berrier. Good run here for him today. Tom Peck is in the top 5. Here comes Hensley. And there's the Tom Peck car. He now has moved around to Ed Berrier. Peck now in 4th position. Berrier in the 5th position. Chuck Bown in 6th. Dale Earnhardt 7th.
4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Right there. There's Earnhardt now. He begins to work over Chuck Bown. Earnhardt just trying to get a fender alongside. Can't quite get it coming out of turn 4. Chuck Bown pulls him by half a car length. 153 laps complete, a little less than 100 laps to go here in this 250-lap Budweiser 250. 8th stop in the Busch Grand National Series Tour of 31 events that will canvass 19 different states.
And there's a spin. Ed Berrier clipped the car that he was trying to lap going into turn 2. And it sent him around. The caution is out. Berrier didn't hit anything, so he'll be able to come around, and I think he will stay on the lead lap.
He will stay on the lead lap, and caution comes out for the 4th time today. We'll see if Jimmy Hensley will take advantage of the caution flag and come down. He will have to make one stop for fuel. Hensley has not yet pitted. We'll watch for Bobby King and the rest of the Don Beverly crew to get ready to bring Jimmy Hensley in. Let's take a look again and see what might have happened here to Ed Berrier.
Okay, he's the white car behind Tom Peck's blue car. You see no Joe Nemechek down on the inside, and they touch just enough to send Ed Berrier spinning around. Chuck Bown and Dale Earnhardt both get by on the inside, and Berrier gets routed and stays in the lead lap.
And Ed Berrier will bring
in. Just Nemechek's car came up just a little bit on Berrier. Didn't take much. They're so close to being out of control when they go into the turns, and just a little bit of a clip, as we saw there, sent him around.
Last week, a similar kind of problem for Ed Berrier. There you see that Garner's Preserves, Kate's Pickles Oldsmobile, John Farrow car.
And apparently they are going to bring the Jimmy Hensley car in. The pits were open the time before, Jerry. He didn't come in, but this time he is coming in. And Benny Parsons is right there, ready for it.
Ed, I talked to Bobby King. He said they was going to stop for gasoline. When going to stop for gasoline, you know, he's over the yellow line. I don't know if the NASCAR inspector is going to stop that car or not, but they fill the car with 1 can of fuel. They're looking at the tires. Fluff was up looking at the right front, checking the air pressure in the right front, maybe letting a little bit of air out of the right front. So evidently they're going to try to go the rest of the way on that one set of tires.
Well, he has certainly driven a good smooth race out there and not tried to race too much. I believe they're going to stop him. No, that's Kenny Wallace that they're stopping down there at the end of pit road and going to hold him. But Jimmy Hensley has gone on out there, so I expect he conserved his tires in the early going there, Benny, and he just might, if anybody can do it, Jimmy Hensley can do it because he's so easy on those tires out there, and he might be able to go the full distance. Green flag is waiting.
Getting set, going back to green flag action, lap 159. That's winding down.
Davey Allison has taken the lead now. Davey's been back in the pack after a pit stop earlier on a caution flag, but now he's back up there and in the lead.
Davey Allison, Tom Peck coming all the way from 32nd starting spot, the McConnellsburg, Pennsylvania driver. That's the blue car to the right of your screen. He's in the pursuit. He's currently being shown in second spot. Behind him, Chuck Bown is third. And Dale Jarrett slowly coming down pit road. One of the contenders to win it today, the only multi-time winner. He brings that car now behind the wall. There's Dale Jarrett, Nestle's Crunch Pontiac, and John Irvin and the crew will go to work on that car.
Even though, Jerry, he is not running all of the races, he was in 6th place in the Busch Grand National Point Standings coming into this race, but they have a number of short track races coming up. The next race will be at Gainesville, Georgia, 2 weeks from tomorrow, and of course the Winston Cup drivers won't be able to compete in some of those short track races because of the schedule. So those Winston Cup drivers that are up there in the point standings will be dropping down there.
Take a look at the cars. They come out of turn 4 in our field snapshot. We'll get a clock on Davey Allison. Remember Davey, tough luck last week at Darlington, did not get a chance to make that event. He had problems. He slammed the wall during practice with his primary car. He brought this car. He had planned to run at Bristol, 17.4 seconds.
And that's about a second slower than they qualified, so it's not too bad at this point of the race.
163 laps here at Bristol International Raceway. And Davey Allison in the Haviland Chevrolet, the red farmer prepared car, is our leader. Fans are enjoying it. Yeah, thumbs up always on racing here in Bristol. Don't go away.
Shower yourself with a new sensation, new refreshing Shield. Feel the blast. The high-energy beat of Shield's unique skin-vigorating formula. Refreshment that'll turn you around. New refreshing Shield.
When you consider everything the mountains have to offer, it's not surprising why anyone would want to work up here. Come to think of it, it's not surprising why they'd want to hang around after work either.
We got a problem. Any ideas? I've got a contact, sir. Well, get on it then. Secure the area. Get him here now.
He's been with the organization for a while.
Nice job, sir.
With years of training, Napa Auto Care technicians provide a secret service everyone should know about.
Well, it happens in a hurry at Bristol International Raceway. They run this track in about 16 seconds. Let's take a look at what happened just moments ago when our leader, Davey Allison, tried to get down pit road. You see some of the moisture there in the pits. Davey on the brakes, the car beginning to bob and weave Ned back and forth, and then it was just hold on.
Yeah, it was, and he slid right through his pits and went right on out, started back out on the racetrack. The back end got away. There he is down on the grass. He finally gets it righted and around, but he is in the pits now, and they're changing the left side tires on the car.
And the man who's showing the way right now, Tom Peck. A great run for Tom Peck, 38 years of age. The Thomas Chevrolet Oldsmobile took a provisional starting spot. Started all the way back in 32nd position. And Tom Peck, one of the top competitors for many years on the dirt tracks and some of the asphalt facilities around McConnellsburg, Pennsylvania. Always qualifies very well, and people said he was going to get a win here pretty soon on this tour, and he is holding off one of the masters of running this racetrack. That's Dale Earnhardt in the Goodrich Chevrolet. In second spot, right behind him, Jimmy Spencer on a tear. Spencer now being shown in third position in that green and white numeral car number 45. That's the car that's owned by Mike Laughlin.
And here's a battle. Chuck Bown is back in sixth position, and the car number 99 is a lap down as a result of the green flag pit stop. That's Jeff Burton trying to move around it, but the car number 8 of David Green is in the lead lap. He is currently being shown in seventh position. Bobby Labonte right there, he is in eighth position. Ed Barrier is ninth, and Jimmy Hensley is 10th. Since we started on Chuck Bown there from 6th through 10th, there are 10 cars on the lead lap. The top 5 are, of course, Tom Peck, Dale Earnhardt, Jimmy Spencer, and the car number 23 of Clifford Allison, and car number 72 of Tracy Leslie. So we have some drivers up in the top 10 here today who normally we don't see up there. Good run for Clifford Allison, younger son of Bobby Allison and brother today.
Great run for Clifford Allison, the Clint Folsom owned car. He's got a Carl Wegner V6 in there. And of course, Clifford married and a father of 3. He's got his racing feet on the short tracks around Birmingham, Alabama. And here is Chuck Bown in the pits for his stop. Let's check with Benny Parsons.
A right side tire change on the Nescafe Pontiac. Fuel going in the car, right side's going on. You saw a moment ago when Chuck Bown got on the outside and all those cars went by him. They felt like the best thing you could do, come in and get some tires and see if they can make up some ground. Change, trying to get some traction on the slick bent road, and away he goes.
And as he moves away, trouble for one of our early leaders, Jimmy Hensley. A big puff of smoke out of the Golden Gallon Oldsmobile. And he brings the Don Beverly-owned car slowly down pit road. And it looks like it could be over for Hensley. The car coming in, possibly an engine problem. And Bobby King and the crew will go to work down there and raise the hood. Tough break for the 45-year-old Virginia driver.
And boy, it's tough for these fellows. In another way, too, Jerry, Jimmy was second in the point standings. Kenny Wallace leading the Busch Grand National point standings coming in this race. And Hensley was hoping to maybe even pick up some here after Kenny had some problems a little bit earlier. But now he's going to lose points to Kenny Wallace if Kenny stays out there and runs.
But Tom Peck is holding his own out there with Dale Earnhardt. Peck still searching for that first series win. Had some great runs, qualified in the first couple of rows at Daytona the past few years. Had a good run last year at Dover, Delaware. That blue and white numeral car number 96. That's an Oldsmobile.
Jerry, there were a lot of drivers that have made pit stops, including Dale Earnhardt, during caution. And all of the cars that are in the lead lap have either made pit stops during caution or have not made pit stops at all. And the word that we get is that Tom Peck and Jimmy Spencer have not stopped. Dale Earnhardt did make a green flag pit stop, hoping to go all the way. As far as his tires are concerned, he does have enough fuel to go the rest of the way. So if his tires hold out, he should be okay. But Tom Peck, I think he's got a pit stop coming sometime for fuel.
He should be making a pit stop fairly soon. They cannot run the whole distance. Here's the car number 23 we talked about for Clifford Allison, 26-year-old driver from Hueytown, Alabama, the youngest son of former Winston Cup champion Bobby Allison in the Seal Tech Buick. Good run for Clifford.
Yeah, right. Running in fourth place, not far behind the leaders.
Let's take a look. We told you Tom Peck started back shotgun on the field in 32nd spot. He took his time early on, was only at 23rd on lap 30, then began to make his move. 14th on lap 80, 4th at lap 150, and it's shown as our leader in lap 185. But he was, you heard Ned just a moment ago say, he will possibly need to make a pit stop very shortly.
Yeah, I would say that 200 laps is absolutely stretching it on this racetrack as far as fuel is concerned. And they're now at 186 laps. So I would think that certainly in the next 15 laps that he's going to have to come in for fuel. It looks like the car's beginning to slip a little bit in the turns, Jerry. Of course, his tires has the same number of laps on them that Dale Earnhardt has.
And with 10 cars in the lead lap, he would like to be able to make that stop possibly under the caution flag. Average speed continues to climb, 94.873 miles per hour, setting a record pace. Set a track record a week ago down in Darlington. Looking to set another track record for average speed today. Battles all over this racetrack. Here's one. David Green in the car number 8, the Phil Martosione car. And Bobby Labonte, the Oldsmobile.
6th and 7th positions they're running in. And Bobby's going to try it on the outside. We haven't seen many passes made except when the lap cars on the outside. When they're racing for position, we haven't seen them make a pass, and Bobby was not able to make that one either.
Bringing back the memories of Bristol of years gone by as Bobby Labonte tried. He probably watched old big brother Terry Labonte, who won here before and always rode this track so well. He saw him do that one time here back at a night race in the Winston Cup years ago, and he tried it, didn't quite pull it off. Back up front, Tom Peck maintains about a 2-car length separation between he and Dale Earnhardt.
Now here comes Ernie Irvan in the yellow car. He's the lap down. Remember, he lost 2 laps when he made a green flag pit stop. He got by Jimmy Hensley, who was leading the race at that time, and then the caution came out, so he made up one of those laps. Now he has caught the leaders and is trying to move back into the lead lap. Ernie is currently running in the 9th position, Jerry. There are 8 cars on the lead lap.
And he will have his hands full now trying to get around Dale Earnhardt. Earnhardt takes the inside portion of turns 1 and 2. Irvan backs off by a car length to get a running start down the back straightaway.
It looked like Earnhardt was moving down, said, okay, then you passed me, but you got to do it on the outside. Don't blame Earnhardt for taking that attitude. Now Ernie's going to try him on the inside going into turn 1. Now Earnhardt has to move up or either get bumped, and Earnhardt knows that he's in good position to take the lead, and right behind him is Clifford Allison trying to move around Jimmy Hensley. So a lot of racing. There he is, Clifford in the blue and white car.
There's Clifford Allison and Jimmy Spencer in the car number 45. That's the 3rd and 4th place car. You just saw Dale Earnhardt in your picture. There's Earnhardt, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Good job by Clifford Allison. Young man doesn't have a lot of experience in the Busch Series. Really showing a lot of people he's got potential to be a competitor here for many years to come. Laps are winding down here at Bristol, Tennessee. 195.
Ask anyone who's driven a Ford lately. Ask them about quality. One of the reasons 5 of the 10 best-selling cars and trucks in America are Fords. The F-Series pickup, Taurus, Explorer, Escort, and Ranger. 5 out of 10 of the country's best sellers. It's quality that breeds success. Have you driven a Ford lately? It's more than just a question. It's an answer.
Mark and my relationship goes way past business. I'm sure in a previous life, he and I were twin brothers. Throughout the race, the driver and crew chief communicate. The driver complains about the car or brags about the car. It's the crew chief's job on pit stops to make whatever fixes he can to help the driver's predicament. Everyone has about the same access to equipment and technology, but the people who rub on it the most and think the most of it and think about it the most will end up winning the race.
Due to network time constraints, we will continue with our standby programming of the NASCAR Budweiser 250 from 1991. However, should this race be run today, we will have highlights tonight on our Speed Week coverage at 7:30 p.m. This race will air in entirety this coming Wednesday at 3:30 a.m. And, of course, there will be highlights next week on our Saturday Night Thunder coverage. Back here tomorrow for the Food City 500 live flag-to-flag coverage starting at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Can Rusty Wallace repeat? We'll have all the action tomorrow at 12 noon from Bristol, Tennessee. Well, it's sort of a good news, bad news for Ernie Irvan scenario. The good news was while we were in commercial, he made his lap up. The bad news, well, he lost it again and many more. Ernie Irvan just moments ago, heavy contact in the wall heading into turn 1. Ned, now here he is racing Tom Peck, trying to get that lap up, and his Mac Tool Chevrolet was on a tear coming to the front. He'd just gone around Earnhardt and looked like he was going to make that lap up, getting inside of Tom Peck in turn 1, but trouble.
Yeah, it looks like he locks the left front brake going into the turn, and maybe it stayed locked because he went slamming into the outside wall. He was trying to get under the car number 96, saw Tom Peck, and saw that Peck was going to come down and into the preferred low groove, and it looked like the brake locked on the car.
And just exiting the pits very slowly, that's Clifford Allison. Was being shown in the top 4 as the 4th place car. Good run for him. He gets his car refired and back on the speedway.
We understand he ran out of gas, and his brother Davey pushed him into the pits. And number 96, Tom Peck, has made a pit stop for fuel, as we knew that he would have to do. And Dale Earnhardt has taken the lead now as we get ready to go green flag racing again.
200 laps complete as Earnhardt pulls away, the green flag being waved once again at Bristol, Tennessee. Earnhardt being shown as a leader. Jimmy Spencer in that green and white car, number 45, in the second place car, the Mike Wafflenall machine.
8 cars in the lead lap. Tom Peck has found himself about a half a lap behind, getting out of the pits a little bit slow, so he's running about a half a lap behind Dale Earnhardt. He is now in 8th place. He went from 1st to 8th on that pit stop. Jimmy Hensley in 2nd now, and David Green is running 3rd. In 4th place is Bobby Labonte, and in 5th place is Tracy Leslie.
Here's Jimmy Spencer now trying to move to the inside of the Kenny Wallace car. Spencer being shown in the second place car. Now makes the move out of turn 4. Jimmy Spencer, then David Green.
You see Harry Gant in there. Haven't seen a whole lot of him today. He's made a green flag pit stop, so he is being shown 1 lap down in the 10th position now. Gant would like to get up there and get around Earnhardt and hope for another caution, but he has a good ways to go to catch Earnhardt because Earnhardt is sort of pulled away on that restart. He got a good jump. Jimmy Spencer got a slow start on the restart, and as a result, Earnhardt just sitting out there riding by himself.
Dale Earnhardt is pulled away to about a 15-car length separation over Jimmy Spencer, who's trying to hold off the challenge of David Green. Laps are winding down. It's going to get even more exciting when we come back after this.
The way to not win in tennis is to think too much about your opponent. Because in tennis, you don't just play the opponent. You've got to play the ball. It's how you play the ball that determines whether your shot is in or out. Whether the point is won or lost. Play the ball better than your opponent, and you'll play winning tennis. Now, you can play the ball and win with this double offer from Tennis Magazine. You'll receive a free half-hour video by Tennis Magazine instruction editor Vic Braden, plus a full year, 12 issues of Tennis Magazine. Call this number now and change the way you play tennis. What a combination. The How to Play Winning Tennis with Vic Braden video, plus the magazine that brings more instruction to more tennis players than any other. Call 800-521-2170 for a full year of Tennis Magazine plus the free video. Just $13.77. Call 800-521-2170 now.
Due to network time constraints, we will continue with our standby programming of the NASCAR Budweiser 250 from 1991. However, should this race be run today, we will have highlights tonight on our Speed Week coverage at 7:30 p.m. This race will air in entirety this coming Wednesday at 3:30 a.m. And, of course, there will be highlights next week on our Saturday Night Thunder coverage. Back here tomorrow for the Food City 500 live flag-to-flag coverage starting at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Can Rusty Wallace repeat? We'll have all the action tomorrow at 12 noon from Bristol, Tennessee. Dale Earnhardt trying to hold on and pick up a win in Busch Series competition. In 1991, Earnhardt won the season opener at Daytona. The Goodies 300 trying to get a win today here in the Budweiser 250. Great battle here among these two drivers. Veteran Jimmy Spencer driving for Mike Laughlin in the car number 45, the Lowe's Food Colors. Behind him, the Penrose Sausage Oldsmobile. Giving him fits is Bobby Labonte.
Bobby Labonte is getting everything he wants. He gets a nose under him, but this time he might be able to make the pass going into 3. Let's see. No, Spencer drives deep in, but he makes him slide up a little bit, and here comes Labonte down on the inside. Boy, he just rammed his way right on around. That's good aggressive driving, especially when you pass one of the most aggressive drivers in racing.
Bobby says, tag, you're it, and I'm gone. And here comes Harry Gant in the Skoll Buick. That's the car number 7 of Gant.
Now that put Bobby Labonte in 3rd place, Jerry, and you can see how far he has already pulled away from Jimmy Spencer. Now if we can pan a little bit farther forward and to the 2nd place car of David Green, there he is. And there's Bobby Labonte. And David Green is running in 2nd place, and Earnhardt, of course, is the leader. They're scattered out a little bit now, but I believe that Labonte's car is fast enough that he might be able to run both of them down.
They're running out of time, though. Only 32 laps to go. There's Earnhardt, the Goodwin Chevrolet driver. Earnhardt did not have a great qualifying effort yesterday. Started back in the field in 18th position. He's now being shown as our leader. There's David Green, the 2nd place car coming at you. And you see Bobby Labonte coming toward you. There is the Tracy Leslie car. He is being shown in 5th place.
Now, L.B. Ottinger won this race a year ago in the Ron Parker Detroit gasket car that Tracy Leslie is driving now. And there's Ed Verrier, Case Pickles, car number 33, still having a good run today, running in the 6th position. There are 8 cars on the lead lap. And Clifford Allison now back in 7th place after his pit stop, and Tom Peck in the 8th position. The top 5, of course, are Dale Earnhardt, David Green, Bobby Labonte, Jimmy Spencer, and the Ed Verrier car. Well,
take a look at the car still running as the laps wind down here. Here's our leader going through our field snapshot. We'll freeze the camera there and put a clock on Dale Earnhardt. See him filing by there with Davey Allison going by. Tommy Houston back in the action. We might mention, you saw a minute ago, he had that early in the day, he had that broken spindle there on the right front. 17.6 seconds for Dale Earnhardt. A lap. One car in trouble has come to rest. That is Butch Miller at the end of the back straightaway. You're actually heading into turn 3, so we are under caution for the 6th time today.
Boy, David Green was really catching Dale Earnhardt in a hurry before this caution came out.
So that'll help Bobby Labonte and David Green, as they'll be able to close right up on the rear deck of Dale Earnhardt, and we're going to have a shootout to see what happens here at Bristol, Tennessee. Let's see again. There's Butch Miller's car, who has come to rest his Chevrolet at the end of the backstretch. We'll see, Ned, exactly what happened to Butch.
Well, he lost it coming off a 2. Now, whether he came in contact with anyone, we couldn't quite see that. But he tried to correct it, overcorrected a little bit, and then hits the outside retaining wall. Not very hard, but the cars get by on the inside, and then he slips down to where his position is on the track.
Well, we'll get Butch Miller's car refired and get set for a shootout here as the laps are winding down. Can Earnhardt hold them off? We'll answer that and more when we come back.
You'd think the world would be nothing but a blur at this speed. But at 200 miles an hour, a lot of things become clear. Like what technology can help make our cars perform better, our trucks tougher, and help make them all safer for the street. Because at Ford, we want to stay ahead in more places than just the racetrack. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Al Unser Jr. knows the corkscrew at Laguna Seca with his eyes closed. Fortunate, considering it's a blind turn. Mark Martin knows if he lets someone cross his wake at 200 miles per hour, his car may be doing the lambada. And Joe Amato knows that at 296 miles per hour, he must pull his chute at precisely the right moment to keep from becoming an astronaut. Apparently, it is what you know.
Welcome to Desert Mountain, the Sonora Desert, Scottsdale, Arizona. The Cochise course, site of the tradition. And the leaderboard has Jack Nicklaus trying to win his 3rd in a row here in the lead at 12. Lee Trevino and Chichi Rodriguez at 11 under par, Dave Stockton at 10. At the 10th hole a short time ago, Jack Nicklaus in trouble, a lost ball. He had to go back and play from the point of his 2nd shot. He's going to pick up at least a bogey or a double bogey. Nicklaus, Trevino, Rodriguez. What a match coming up next from Scottsdale.
Back at Bristol International Raceway, the signal from the Busch Series flagman, 1 to go when they hit the line. Next time by, we'll have green flag. Top 10 here for this final shootout. Dale Earnhardt, David Green, Bobby Labonte, Jimmy Spencer, and Tracy Leslie. 3 Busch Series drivers in the top 5. Ed Verrier, again, the Kate's Pickles car running well. Clifford Allison, great runs for the youngster from Hueytown. Tom Peck showing an 8th spot. Harry Gant is 9th, and Kenny Wallace, the point leader, rounding out the top 10. 225 of 250 laps complete. 25 to go. It'll be 24 to go this time by Ned. And the Busch Series drivers, as you said, Ned, you predicted they would run awfully well on an even par with the Winston Cup regulars here.
7 out of the top 10 right now are regulars in the Busch Grand National Series. So, yes, when they come to Bristol, they can expect to hold their own with the Winston Cup drivers, even though there's a Winston Cup driver up front right now. But David Green was pressing hard before the yellow flag fell. Let's see what he can do now. We're back under green flag.
Remember, both events last year won by Busch Grand National drivers here. We'll see if Earnhardt can break the Busch string. Bobby Labonte just trying to get by, squeezed out a little bit by one of the lap cars.
Because Harry Gant is 1 lap down.
Tough break for Tom Peck. What a great day he had today, starting tail end of the field, 32nd spot, and his car now rolling very slowly down. It looks like he will call it a day. Tom Peck from McConnellsburg, Pennsylvania, calling it quits. And Harry Gant now slides beneath Earnhardt to get his lap back. Now Gant would like to see a caution flag. And David Green trying to follow him through. Green saves the car. Tremendous job by the young driver from Tennessee to save that car number 8.
And it could give Bobby Labonte a break, and he'd move into second. Maybe a rookie mistake there, Jerry. He got down under Earnhardt. He saw an opportunity. He got down under there, but he broke traction coming off the turn. Here it is again. Gant had got around Earnhardt, and David Green just broke traction coming off the turn. But as you said, he did a great job of saving the car, but Bobby Labonte did get around it. Now Labonte up there battling with Dale Earnhardt, trying to take the lead. Here comes Bobby Labonte down on the inside as Davey Allison has moved around Earnhardt. So looks like Earnhardt's tires might have gone away. Bobby Labonte on a short track trying to win his first Busch Grand National race ever.
Bobby Labonte said he started on the front row for both events a year ago, did not win. In fact, didn't have that good a day here at Bristol. He said, I'm starting way back in 21st spot today. It may be my day. Maybe my luck will change. And right now, he is indeed leading as we have trouble in turn 3. A couple of cars. One is Kenny Wallace has spun. It was a lot of contact. And Wallace's car ended up spinning across the track into the outside retaining wall. And once again, the yellow flag is in the hands of Mike Harwood, our Busch Series flagman, for the 7th time today, as 233 laps are being shown on the books, and that was a break, Ned, for Harry Gant.
Yes, it was. He had just passed the leader not too many laps ago and has gotten back in the lead lap, so that'll put him in contention now. Well, here's what happened going into turn 3. There's Kenny Wallace in the black car with the green lettering, and it looks like Tracy Leslie might have touched him just a little bit as they went into the turn. As we said earlier, there's Clifford Allison making a good move down on the inside. It doesn't take much. When you're starting into the turn, just a little bit of a tap, and it'll send you around.
Under caution for the 7th time today, will Bobby Labonte be able to hold off Dale Earnhardt and David Green for his first ever win? We'll answer that when we come back, so don't go away.
It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard oil filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
Ask anyone who's driven a Ford lately, like the people from Car and Driver, who've named Taurus SHO one of their 10 best. The people from Motor Trend, who named Explorer the best buy in its class. Or any one of the thousands of people who've made Escort the best-selling small car in America. Have you driven a Ford lately? It's more than just a question. It's an answer.
Due to network time constraints, we will continue with our standby programming of the NASCAR Budweiser 250 from 1991. However, should this race be run today, we will have highlights tonight on our Speed Week coverage at 7:30 p.m. This race will air in entirety this coming Wednesday at 3:30 a.m. And, of course, there will be highlights next week on our Saturday Night Thunder coverage. Back here tomorrow for the Food City 500 live flag-to-flag coverage starting at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Can Rusty Wallace repeat? We'll have all the action tomorrow at 12 noon from Bristol, Tennessee. Certainly hope you're enjoying today's Speedwall coverage of the Budweiser 250. Brought to you by Parts Plus. For name brands you can rely on, go to Parts Plus, America's family of auto parts stores. And by Citgo, home of high-quality gasoline with HTA 1000 super detergent. And by Quaker State, the Big Q is one tough motor oil. Take a look there, Dale Earnhardt and David Green. Now, they are battling for second. Yes, I said second place because with 10 laps to go, that's the battle on the racetrack. We mentioned that Bobby Labonte had pulled away as Green now tries to get to the inside of Earnhardt in turn 4 and will do it.
Yes, he makes a good pass down on the inside. He tried it off of turn 2 a little while ago, and it didn't work, but he made it work off of turn 4 this time. So David Green has moved into second. So you got Busch Grand National regulars running first and second.
There's Jimmy Spencer and Ed Barrier. They dice it up back there. That's for 4th and 5th.
Tracy Leslie right behind them. Harry Gant now being shown in the 7th position. He's behind Clifford Allison. There are 8 cars being shown on the lead lap now.
7 laps to go. 7 laps away from his first win is Bobby Labonte. That's the 4th, 5th place cars there, and there is Labonte out of turn 2.
Well, he has checked out. Well, he got a good start, Jerry, when the green flag dropped. He had lost a couple of races, or at least when those races that Dale Jarrett beat him were contributed to slow restarts, and this time he wasn't going to be caught in that situation. He got a good jump on Earnhardt and just continued to pull away.
A little bumping back in the pack a moment ago between Jimmy Spencer and Ed Barrier. Gotta believe these guys' tires are just about worn out after 250 laps on a demanding track like Bristol.
Yeah, it's really surprising that they've been able to go 250 laps and still run at a good speed that they're running now on those tires. That's a tribute to Goodyear. Jimmy Spencer almost lost it coming off of turn 2. He maintains the 4th position, but Ed Barrier is right there, and that's Dave Resendez in car number 79 there. I think I called it Tracy Leslie a little bit ago. Leslie's running back in the 8th place. 4 laps to go.
Laps winding down in Bristol, Tennessee. Bobby Labonte trying to hold on to get his win. Just a few laps left here in Bristol. Remember, tennis coming your way momentarily. Women's tennis, the Bausch & Lomb semifinals from Amelia Island, Florida. Coming up next following the conclusion of our Budweiser 250 here from Bristol, Tennessee. What a wild one we've had today. A slugfest on the half-mile high banks. 36 degrees, and they're slugging it out now for 3rd spot.
Well,
that's extra for 4th spot.
Over. Yeah. Jimmy Spencer in the 4th spot in the car number 45. Ed Barrier in 5th, trying to take it away. One of Barrier's best runs of the year. And as we said, he had a good run going last week at Darlington, but got took out there towards the end of the race. But he'd like to move. He's on the scoreboard now.
White flag. Final lap for Bobby Labonte. This young man from Corpus Christi, Texas, at 26 years of age, trying to pick up this first ever win in the pit row. His Firecracker Oldsmobile comes across, and the crowd celebrates as they do in Bobby Labonte's pits. A close battle back there for 4th spot. Looked like Spencer may have just nipped it.
He might have. It was very close as they came across the start-finish line. Now the driver's pulling up to congratulate Bobby Labonte on his first ever win.
And they are running down to congratulate. We welcome you back to Bristol, Tennessee. We are under a red flag condition due to rain showers in the area. We hope you've enjoyed the re-air of last year's Budweiser 250 won by Bobby Labonte. Should this race be resumed and run in its entirety, you will see this race flag to flag at 3:30 a.m. Wednesday morning. And remember, highlights of this race should it be concluded tonight on Speedweek at 7:30. We'll be back tomorrow with 500 miles of racing action from Bristol, Tennessee, the Food City 500. But coming up now, golf, the tradition.